So dissolution is the topic of interest of many and I am not exception to it. And many times it may happen that the dissolution does not meet our predefined specification. You may have the dissolution specification at three different stages like S1, S2, S3 or L1, L2, L3 and you get out of spec result at any specific stage. So how you are going to proceed further? Hi, my name is Bhaskar Napte. I am the founder of Pharma Growth Hub, and as a part of this video, we will try to understand the various options available in case if you get dissolutions result out of the acceptance criteria at any specific stage. So let us begin with the presentation. And to explain this particular situation, I am going to consider the specification of a drug product of not less than 85% Q, assuming we have the immediate release dosage form. So as we know that at S1 stage, we have to conduct dissolution on 6 individual units and the result for each unit should be greater than or equal to Q plus 5%, which is going to become 90% in this situation. So what is possible result? And this is a situation 1 where all our 6 units are having a result greater than Q plus 5% and the conclusion is now there is no need to go for S2 stage. You can release the product as far as dissolution is concerned at S1 stage. But what is the possibility number 2? Now you have got one unit less than Q plus 5% which is highlighted in red color 78%. So what this indicates, the product does not meet the acceptance criteria at S1 and you have to go for S2 stage means you have to conduct dissolution on additional 6 unit. But in addition to that, you can also check the product history whether the product has not met at S1 level at the previous analysis. Preserve or original sample if required. So in case if you find that okay at S2 stage all the results are much greater than Q plus 5%. So the 78% could be a suspect of an analytical error. I mean, there could be a chance of the product variability also, but you cannot rule out the analytical variation at the S1 stage. So to meet your requirement of the investigation, it is always preferred to protect or preserve this S1 stage analytical solutions and then conduct an investigation to check lab data accuracy if required. So you are going to now go for the S2 stage if there is no analytical error identified, and the 78% result that we have discussed is found to be a true one. As a part of S2, you have to conduct dissolution on additional 6 units. You are going to have the 12 unit data. Now, what is the acceptance criteria now? The average of 12 units should be greater than or equal to Q, which is 85% in this situation, and no unit should be less than 70%, which is Q minus 15%. So, what is the possibility number 1? You have all this S1 result and we talked about 78% which was not meeting S1 stage that has made us to go for S2 stage and these are the S2 stage result which are comfortably meeting the specification. Please understand all these are hypothetical results. Conclusion. The product meets the acceptance criteria at S2 and there is no need to go for S3 level testing. So no need to continue dissolution at S3 stage and investigate the result at S1 stage as this all 6 unit result at S2 stage are very different from the 78%. There could be another possibility, the possibility number 2 where now the S2 result is not meeting the S2 stage criteria and I have highlighted this result in red color 68%. Now this 68% is not equal to or greater than our Q value which is 85%. So we are not meeting the spec at S2 stage. The product does not meet the acceptance criteria at S2 stage, so continue dissolution at the S3 stage. But what actions you can take? Check the product history again, because failing at S2 stage is quite significant as far as the product quality is concerned. Preserve original solutions. In case if you are conducting the accelerated or the intermediate stability study, you have to raise the significant change, because if you go to the I think stability guideline Q1A R2, you will find that in case if the dissolution does not meet with 12 unit, that can be called as a significant change. So you can raise the significant change, and then conduct and identify the action plans you have to do in case if the significant change gets occurred. Again, conduct an investigation to check the lab data accuracy. Whether the 68% is it because of the lab error, or is it a product particular batch specific issue. In case if there is no lab error identified, you have to go for S3 stage. And as a part of S3 stage, you can conduct the dissolution testing on 12 additional units. You are going to have the total of 24 units dissolution data. And what is the acceptance criteria at S3? An average of 24 units is equal to or greater than Q value, which is 85% in our case, and not more than 2 units are less than Q minus 15, which is 70% in our case, and no unit is less than Q minus 25%, which is 60% in our case. So what is possible result? So I have just shown that these S3 results are very comfortably meeting the specification. The product meets the acceptance criteria at S3 stage, and the product can be released. Action: in case if you want to check the product history because S2 was not meeting, and in case if the product history says that none of the batch has gone at S3 level, probably there is a good time for you to understand the product history. Possible result too, that I have shown intentionally one unit not meeting the S3 stage, which is 55% less than 60% or Q minus 25%. Conclusion: the product does not meet the acceptance criteria even at S3 level. What actions you can think of? The first and foremost, you can raise an OS, because this is the time where your product has now not meeting the specifications, and conduct the investigation. Retesting is not allowed beyond S3 stage. Especially for dissolution testing, you cannot conduct the retesting, like additional testing on 6 unit or additional testing on 12 unit is not allowed in case if a product is not meeting the acceptance criteria until S3 level. If no lab error is identified, you can certainly conduct an investigation to identify the lab data accuracy, but if there is no lab error identified, you have to reject the batch. And you can think of the what might have wrong happened during the manufacturing. You can think of what is the product history. Very important note to be understand: a similar approach as discussed can be used for dissolution of extended release and delayed release dosage forms. So this approach is not only applicable for the immediate release, but also applicable for extended and delayed release dosage form. If the dosage form contains gelatin, or if has gelatin coating, or if the capsule cell made up of gelatin has been used, and if you meet the dissolution failing result at S1 or L1 stage, you can actually repeat the dissolution by using enzymes. And this has been referred and guided as per the USP General Chapter 711 for dissolution. Always dissolution failure is considered only after the product has failed at S3 or L3. The failure at S1 or S2 is not failure of the dissolution specification. Unless and until the results is not meeting the specification at S3 or L3, then you can say now the dissolution is out of the specification. So let me know your opinion on this particular video in the comment box below. Thank you so much.